This chapter of the One Piece manga series is absolutely nuts. And yes, that is a pun on the fact that Luffy ends up on Nuts Island. But how is that possible? He was stuck in the mirror world battling against Katakuri's Charlotte. Well, we're going to talk about all of that in my review of this One Piece manga chapter. And yes, guys, I know that this review is late, and a lot of my One Piece reviews have been very late lately. A lot of that is due to the fact that, well, I've just been very busy in real life, dealing with work, dealing with family, bills, the whole nine. Not to mention, of course, this is a very crappy excuse, but I've been playing a lot of Mario Odyssey, so that's sort of been keeping me from getting to these reviews. But let's just get right to the brass tacks of this week's chapter of One Piece, which was a pretty surprising chapter to say the least, as we got to see more of Luffy versus Katakuri, and it was more of Luffy in his Gear 4th form going up against Katakuri in his, like, endlessly powerful Devil Fruit abilities, and Luffy himself even realizes there's no way I'm gonna beat this guy, so he actually decides to make a strategic retreat, and he actually uses his head, which I thought was really clever. He is going to have to accumulate some energy so that he can use Haki again, so he grabs onto Brûlée and basically forces her to use her abilities to go through these mirrors, and he goes from like one incredibly dangerous situation to the next, from fighting Katakuri to being on Nuts Island, which is being completely just decimated by Big Mom, which I have to say that was probably my favorite spread from the entire chapter. The overall image of Big Mom on top of this like giant sentient peanut and just eating everything with everybody running through the streets, it's like something out of a kaiju movie. It's basically Big Mom as King Kong. It's a really fantastic scene, and even Luffy realizes that he's screwed up. He tries to run away, almost gets captured by Sparrow's candy. Amanda comes in, who we haven't seen in a long time, and she ends up cutting like this massive freaking just cut through the entire giant freaking wall of candy. It looks really impressive. Amanda's a really funny character, and I love the appearances that she's made in the anime version, and seeing her return right here is crazy. Really, Luffy has had to fight against Big Mom's entire family, and that's been one of the craziest things about this arc right here. And there's a lot of other really great things going on in this one. We see that the Straw Hat Pirates are preparing to go up against their enemies yet again. We have Sanji and their team who have just completed the main ingredients for the cake. They're going to get it on the ship and hopefully get that thing to Big Mom as quick as possible. Apparently it's so delicious that people are like passing out from the overall just amazingness of it all. That's just how good of a cook that Sanji really is. And I know there's probably a few other elements from this chapter that I am just completely forgetting, but honestly, I'm so scatterbrained about this One Piece chapter. Again, like I said, I've been behind on a lot of things. So let's just go ahead and get to the rundown of this one. What's the rundown on this chapter of One Piece? This one was really great. I'm still hoping that we'll get to see more of the battle between Luffy and Katakuri, as Luffy is claiming that he wants to get his Haki back, probably so that he can conclude this fight. Now, after, you know, seeing everything that we've seen thus far, I would be kind of miffed if we actually didn't see, like, a solid conclusion to their fight, and I really want that to happen. I really want to see how Luffy is going to be able to overcome this incredibly insurmountable wall that is Katakuri, who little by little is just reclaiming his awesomeness, even after being, you know, revealed as this weird, creepy, donut-eating freak. I especially still love just the look of his overall fighting abilities, where he creates like those giant mochi arms and kind of use them almost as if he's like in a VR game, like when he punches with his real arm, the giant arms come in and punch and everything. It looks really solid, and I can't wait to see how Toei Animation is going to screw it up in the anime version. That is joking a little bit on my side. I really hope Toei Animation does some great job with this fight right here. It's something that I really hope they're going to put some tender, loving care into. Really, though, this was a surprising chapter. It's just chaotic, too, just everything that is going on here. It's just got me really excited to see the rest of this arc, which, after the big announcement they just made, I'm not sure how long it's going to go on for. Apparently the Wano arc, which is going to be one of the next big major arcs in the series, and one that makes sense considering the other half of the characters are going towards that place, apparently it's not going to take place for upwards of a year to 2 years. At least according to the creators of the One Piece and Oda himself. So That's kind of insane. Does that mean that this arc is actually going to continue to go on that much longer? Or is there going to be an arc in between this before we get to the next one? I'm guessing if there is going to be one, it's going to be the Reverie arc. It makes sense. It's a story plot that started up and we never got to it. And they could easily spend a lot of time during there. But I want to see like why that's going to last as long as it's going to. So hopefully they get to it quick. Apparently, according to Oda, like, the actual, like, main story itself is only 65% done, which is just insane, to be perfectly honest. That being said, if they can continue to be as entertaining as this chapter right here, I'm definitely down for it. I loved this chapter a lot. I really love the artwork and just all the overall craziness of it and the spectacle of Luffy and Katakuri's fight, and even just, like, the little details. This is a really fun chapter to look at in terms of the art style, and being that it's a manga, that's a really good thing. Like, when Luffy actually, like, goes out of Gear 4th and you see him, like, flying around in the different panels and then finally sliding down on the floor all in one motion, it just looks like it's going to be really fast and fluid. And like I said, I hope Toei Animation don't screw it up. So this was a great read right here, to be perfectly honest, despite the fact that we don't get to see too much more of Luffy versus Katakuri, but this is basically just a build-up to the next round of their epic fight, and I can't wait to see how it's all going to turn out. So I liked this chapter. I had no complaints with it. From an entertainment standpoint, I got a lot out of it. I'm sorry if I missed anything, but I did love this chapter a lot. 5 out of 5 from me. Check it out, guys. If any of you did watch it, tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below and what you hope to see from the rest of this crazy arc, and what do you think is going to go in between this and the Wano Kingdom arc? What do you want to see? Tell me all your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. I'll see you guys next time. And as always, stay down there, baby.